Hello, everyone. Despite the progress made in shipbuilding and navigation, accidents at sea happen all the time and for many reasons. Today, you'll witness some of the most massive ones, from container ships colliding to ships breaking in half in the open sea. Let's get it on! Yet, even seasoned sailors can't always turn a tough situation to their advantage, and sometimes something like this happens. The container ship brushed against the cruise liner due to the tug crew's negligence and poor visibility as it was leaving the Hamburg port. Luckily, there wasn't any major damage, and it eventually headed out to sea. Ship collisions during launches aren't rare. You don't even have to sail far to see that. On February 28, 2019, the cargo ship Sea Grand arrived at the South Korean port of Bisan to unload 1,400 tons of iron pipes. Instead of departing as planned, the captain steered the ship towards a bridge for unknown reasons, and then this happened. The impact was so strong that it punched a hole in the ship's hull, measuring 16 by 16 feet. Surprisingly, neither the people on the bridge nor the crew of the cargo ship were harmed. It was just like what happened in the southwest of Ecuador. It's honestly surprising. It looks like quite a serious accident. The structure collapsed from the collision, and the ship was billowing smoke. What caused it is still a mystery. Maybe it's because of the fast-flowing current, making it tough for the captain to keep control. On April the 14th, 2023, around 3,000 people watched live as the new U.S. military ship Cleveland was damaged during its launch. The video clearly shows the giant ship heavily leaning, launching a massive wave towards the tugboat and crashing into it. Things could have been much worse if the tugboat had been just a bit closer to the military vessel. The collision was blamed on a misunderstanding, and later, the shipyard announced plans to abandon such launches in favor of a more controlled method using a ship lift. In southern Taiwan, there was a similar incident, but this time it wasn't due to the weather. The ship was getting ready to enter the port, but got too close and made a really bad turn. Picture yourself wandering through the quaint alleys of Italy, when, out of nowhere, a submarine pops up from beneath the asphalt mere meters away. Sailors scatter in confusion, unsure of their location, as shocked bystanders look on. Insanity, you bet. Fortunately, it was just a well-thought-out performance by a marketing agency to advertise an insurance company. Gotta admit, pretty creative. Docking a ship in a storm is not easy. High waves and gusts of wind cause serious problems. However, seasoned sailors can use even extreme conditions to their advantage. Take a look. It seems like the captain's struggling to steer the ship due to the weather, and the wind is pushing the ship off course. But actually, everything's under control. The crew dropped the anchor at just the right moment, causing the ship to align properly, and the wind guided it straight to the dock. It was meant to be a regular day for the port employees at Beveren in Belgium. But the weather had other ideas, throwing off their plans and their work routine. The container ship arrived at the port on time and docked as expected. However, due to strong winds, the mooring ropes loosened, causing the ship to drift and collide with a port crane. The 140-foot tall structure collapsed like a house of cards. Luckily, the ship only sustained minor damage. Judging by the way this guy's screaming, it seems like he already knows exactly what's going to happen in a few seconds. The docking of that tanker wasn't smooth at all, but the second ship got it worse. Now there's a gaping hole. In its hull. You don't have to be a member of the Coast Guard to notice that this ferry is going way too fast for a dock like this. Well, it was inevitable. The ferry that made quite an entrance at the San Francisco dock had 53 passengers on board, but luckily none of them were seriously injured. Still, judging by the cheers from onlookers, the entire scene definitely added some excitement to their day. Launching a ship into the water is one of the most crucial steps in the entire shipbuilding process. Depending on the type of vessel, there are four methods of launching: gravitational, floating out, mechanical, and airbag launching. Each method requires careful calculations to make sure everything goes smoothly. Usually, it does. Just like in these clips from the Netherlands, where huge ships gracefully enter the water. It's hard to imagine how people on that tiny boat and everyone else in the port of Puerto Rico felt when they saw 1,060-foot-long monster heading their way. There were over 4,000 passengers on the ship when it happened. And get this, the crash wasn't caused by a mechanical breakdown or a crew mistake, but by the power of nature. Just think about how strong the wind must have been to shift this huge thing. Here's a good example from Spain, showing why it's important to properly secure cargo on a ship, especially when it's big. It's not clear when the truck decided to take a leap, but it's impressive how it managed to hold on until it reached the port. Surprisingly, it didn't suffer any significant damage, unlike those cars. Here's a story from Hamburg. The bulk carrier Yeoman Bridge got so close to a container ship that it actually knocked off its boarding ladder. While statistics show a decrease in such incidents every year, there's still no guarantee that anyone can be safe from it.